All right, welcome to episode 3 of the Jake Blanchard podcast. I'm really excited about the guest that I have today. His name's Kameron Ross, and you're going to hear from him in a second. But when I was making a list of the first 5 people I wanted to have on my podcast, he was toward the top of that list. And the reason is his Instagram page for me is one of the most inspiring pages that's out there. When we talk about people who are doing the work, just getting up and doing the work and sharing the passion, sharing the fire, sharing the love. It's definitely him. It's definitely his page around fitness, around food, and around training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu leadership mindset. So Kameron, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I haven't done a lot of podcasts, so this is the first for me, but I'm excited. I'm always down to talk training, nutrition, and what I'm passionate about. So I'm excited.
I appreciate it. Well, this is number 3 for me. So we're going to bump into the walls a little bit as we go, but it'll get easier and easier, I guess. So first off, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you live, where you're from, and then obviously let's just segue that right into how you got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up on the coast, Newport, Oregon, and initially fell in love with football, was an avid football player all through high school, into a couple years at a Division II school, Western Oregon. And then I hung up the helmet, finished my degree at the University of Oregon, then got into law enforcement. I worked at a couple different agencies and ultimately landed in Idaho about 3 years ago. My wife works for Boise Fire on the admin side. I've got a 6-month-old son, and I've been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 2.5 years. It goes hand in hand with where I work. I work for the Ada County Sheriff's Office inside the jail. I teach defensive tactics, firearms, cell extraction, special team response, all the fun stuff. So anytime I can get better at grappling, get better at jiu-jitsu, not only helps with keeping me safe, keeping my teammates safe, but also keeps me calm and is a big outlet for me to relieve some stress.
Yeah, absolutely. I first heard about you from a photographer. Her name is Nikki Taylor, very close friend of mine. Her business, Nikki Taylor Photography. Shout out, Nikki. Mm-hmm. But she took some family photos of you. She comes to me and she goes, "Hey, I met this guy. Do you know him? Obviously she knows I do jiu-jitsu in the community." And I said, "Well, no, I haven't heard of him." She goes, "No, he's like really into it." And I'm like, "What?"
I don't even remember talking about jiu-jitsu, but it must have portrayed.
No, I think she might have looked up your Instagram page. She might have, whatever. But she sent it over to me, and then once again, sometimes as a amateur athlete you kind of lose the fire sometimes.
Sure,
and then when you see somebody who's just driving, who's grinding, who's sharing, who's sharing the love. It's so cool. So how did you get into starting Kameron Ross training?
Right.
And then why?
So for a while now, my friends know how passionate I get about things. And I was kind of sharing some things here and there on my personal page regarding, first it was powerlifting. Then it was getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 2.5 years ago. And they said, you need to start a page. You need to get into something. You need to share more. So I said, all right, whatever, let's do it. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm generally pretty reserved, but it's been really fun. It's been beneficial for me. It really makes me think about why I'm doing something, critique my training, and just share everything I'm learning, because I'm always trying to just get a little bit better every day. So I'm sure it'll be something that I continue to tweak, continue to get better, but it's helpful for me just as much as it is for anybody else.
Yeah, man. So I noticed that you do a lot of solo drills.
There's a reason for that for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why so many solo drills?
So I work 4 on, 4 off at the sheriff's office, and those 4 on are 12, 13-hour shifts. So I can't make it to class. And I want to get a certain amount of hours in each week to continue to progress, but I didn't want a big chunk of time where I didn't do any moves, didn't do any drills. Of course, I would continue to lift, but I don't lift every day. So I purchased some home mats, and then I found, shout out to Jiu Jitsu Ronan, Matt Edgington, on Instagram. And I didn't even know he was local until I saw him at a tournament. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the Ronan guy. So I kind of looked into his solo drills, thought it was cool how he was getting better. And then I take my time that I work the 3 a.m. Lifting sessions, 3 a.m. solo drill sessions as kind of a recovery and just like a little bit way to get better as I'm away from the mats. So it kind of forces me to review, learn, get better at moving. And then when I hit the mats again on my weekends, I'm a little bit better by the time I come back. So I think it's been probably the most beneficial thing I've done for my progression so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been following Matt on Instagram for a little while too. He's really built a heck of a following, man. He's
Sure have, yeah.
50, 60,000 plus, if I remember correctly from looking at his page. And so, you get into the solo grappling, how do you like organize what drills you're going to share and why? What's your process that's driving you here?
So I've kind of pick and choose some of the solo drills that I like, that I feel like have good transferability to the mats. I don't want to be doing something that is just a drill that I don't get better at when I actually do actual jiu-jitsu. And when the quarantine hit and everyone was on lockdown, all the gyms were closed, John Danaher came out with a video, a master solo drill video. And what really clicked with me is he talked about how all the drills that you do should be replicating exactly what you do with a live partner. So then I really started to look at all my drills and said, well, where is this happening when I'm doing it with an actual live person? So I kind of split them up with hip movement drills, leg movement drills, some submission type things, shooting, takedowns, sprawls. And I just have them categorized, and I've picked and choose ones I like, added, deleted, and then I always find a video here and there geared towards what I'm kind of working on now. So you'll notice I kind of shared in sections on my Instagram page because I didn't want to film. I think I've got like 60 drills written down right now.
Yeah.
And I kind of shared in sections. That way, this is what I'm kind of focusing on today, and then the next day, and then you kind of have all the videos put together. So lately, I'm kind of trying to get better at guard passing. So a lot of my videoed solo drills have something to do with guard passing or switching sides, like moving around on a heavy bag. So yeah, and I keep diving deeper into it, finding stuff that I can do. I have my core base of solo drill workout. It's about 30 minutes. And then I do additional stuff geared toward what I'm working on.
Yeah. And then you're up at like real early in the morning sometimes.
Really early, yeah.
Like 3 a.m, like you're in the gym at 3.
Yeah, well, not quite. I get up at 3. Reason is when I get home from work, it is kiddo duty. My wife hands Kanan off, and she's been working all day. Yeah, he's at daycare, and then she picks him up and hangs out for a few hours, and then it's kind of my turn at night. So I play with him, I feed him, bathe him, and then put him down about 9 o'clock. And luckily, he's a good sleeper. So he goes to bed, I go to bed, and I'm exhausted from work, exhausted from training. And then my time to train is really in the morning, and it's kind of crept earlier and earlier, as because I hate being rushed. So I think 3 is kind of a time where I must be in between sleep cycles or something, because it's easier for me to get up at 3 rather than if I wait till 4 or 5, because I must be getting back into that deep sleep. So if I get up at 3, make it to the gym about 3:30, 3:45, work out till about 5:30, and then I'm off to work at 6. So.
All right. So what's driving you here? Like, why organize your life around jiu-jitsu, this sport? Like, what's that fire like inside?
So I've always been really diving into things 1,000%. I have trouble with not getting into something so deeply. I've got to pull myself back every once in a while. So when I found jiu-jitsu, it was kind of towards the end of my powerlifting kind of journey. I was dealing with a few injuries. The lower back was giving me trouble. I was kind of hitting the upper limit of, what I could potentially do, lift weights. And then the progression would take years to get any better. So when I found jiu-jitsu and I figured out the ceiling is just never ending, you can always get better. It's super difficult. It's extremely complex, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I love how I can do something at home to get better. I can watch video to get better, all the different types of trainings, competing. It's just so diverse that it really fills my competition void. It keeps me in shape. It's a good workout. The community is awesome. As you know, everyone I meet, I've been training at different gyms here and there. Anytime I go on vacation, dropping in different gyms in the Treasure Valley. and everyone is just so chill, so relaxed. And then it's something that really helps me at work because it keeps me calm, keeps me safe. If I have to go hands-on with someone, I can do it with the least amount of force possible and, be under control. So I think it goes hand in hand with my professional life and my personal life. And as Jocko said, it's like a metaphor for life, and it's made me a better person because of it.
That's pretty cool, man. I want to ask, what has been the most interesting thing that's happened so far since you started sharing this journey on Instagram, right? Or starting to give advice? I mean, I'm sure, because I know I've reached out to you more than once asking for your lists and things like that over the last few months. I can't be alone. So what's that like?
So the most interesting thing so far, probably was I used to train at a gym in Springfield, Oregon. Shout out to Vic at Forever Strong Performance Fitness. And I started, was following his page, and someone connected, and I saw that Lucas Barbosa was there at his gym training, world champion, absolute savage. And then I noticed he had a picture with a guy that lives in Eugene. So I connected him through Instagram. He connected with me. And then I didn't know he was buddies with Lucas. And he goes on his Instagram story, and I said, it was a fight to win event. And I said, who you got? It was Barbosa versus somebody, I can't remember. And he messaged me and said, hey, I'm in Lucas's corner. And I thought he meant like, no, I'm just going to be rooting for him. And then I see a story of him later, like literally in his corner, videoing him as he warms up, as he fights. And I've kept in contact with this guy, and he actually came through Idaho the other day. We didn't get to train, but lives in Eugene and is a huge connection with Lucas Barbosa. So hopefully I can get him down here one of these days to stop by at the base. But that's probably been the coolest kind of connection through jiu-jitsu. And then just everyone that's been super supportive, all the questions I've got, all the people that I've met, and I'm sure it'll just continue to grow.
Yeah. So do you have a vision for this, like Instagram page, Instagram following? Are you just kind of posting and organically growing, or you have kind of, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Mainly just organically. I don't, I kind of have a strategy of, it's basically, I boil it down to what am I most passionate about, and it's strength training and jiu-jitsu. And whether it turns into something that's monetary or something that I, can use as a side hustle, that'd be great. But I figured out I'm already doing all this, and I'm constantly, it's like my life's a giant experiment. I'm constantly tweaking, trying things out, putting things in, taking things out. And I knew people would benefit from it. And like I said before, it's really helps me think about why I'm doing something. Why am I doing the solo drill? And then lately I film at the base. I film the instructor filming it, and then I upload it to my YouTube, and then I film me doing it. And then in my Instagram, kind of like my comment section or my post, I talk about details that I got from it, kind of the details that I need to remember. So I'm reviewing the move like 3 or 4 times without having to go to class 3 or 4 times. So that in turn has helped me get a lot better and kind of save things that I'm working on, and then obviously film competitions and stuff. So where it goes, I don't know, but it's something that has been fun.
Well, man, I can tell you, but as far as competition schedule, especially in Boise and in the Northwest, this whole COVID thing really kind of knocked us off our rails. Looks like Grappler Industries might be coming October 17th.
Yeah, so I have my eye on Salt Lake. It's actually September 17th. If that fills up, I may make a quick trip down there. And then if I can get the day off, October 17th for sure.
Which one's that in Salt Lake? Is that the Utah Open?
It's Salt Lake City Open, Grappling Industries. So
oh, cool.
I think it's like 200 registered right now. So if they end up getting a couple hundred more, then it'd be worth the trip. But I'm just dying to get back on the competition mats for sure. Something that it's high anxiety, stresses me out, but it makes me so much better. And I get leaps and bounds better every time I compete. So. Yeah,
same here, man. What are you competing at right
now? So it depends on the tournament. IBJJF, I'll compete in the 195 division. Grappling Industries, it'll be 185. And then if the Northwest Submission ever comes back, I'm going to dip into the 165 to 180 class because they weigh in the night before.
All right, man. I'll be a blue belt 185.
Awesome.
I think I'm a little older than you. I've been doing the masters division. I think
Nice.
The last time it came through, but maybe I'll drop down and get into the murky waters with you animals under 30.
Absolutely. I'm actually 32.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, but I'm going to stick in the adult division as long as I can until I start getting my ass kicked.
That's what I keep telling myself. Yeah, man. So like, I guess I would say like anything else around kind of jujitsu, anything else that you're really excited about coming up or just motivates you?
Life's been crazy with my son being born 6 months ago. And everyone kept telling me, you're not going to have time. You're going to get fat. You're going to have to give up all your passions. And I think the biggest thing was I talked to my parents about it because my dad was really into lifting and really into staying healthy. And I watched him all throughout my time. And I think it's something I got from him was, the hard work, the grind, the ethic every day. And I want to give that to my son as well. So priorities did shift. They did change. But if you're interested in something enough, you're going to find a way. So that's where the 3 a.m. workouts come in. That's where training twice a day on my days off when he's at daycare, and just kind of finding everything I can to continue my passion so that when he starts watching me, he'll know that whatever you want to go after, you can. So it's been tough, but it's definitely been worth it. And the biggest thing was is just communicating with my wife about scheduling times and being flexible with, maybe not train today or get up super early, or, when it's my time to take care of the kid and be present. So that's probably the biggest thing that's going on in my life. And then balancing this COVID thing and work, it's been crazy, but hopefully we're on the tail end.
Yeah. What I've noticed, and I've got a pretty packed calendar myself, and trying to find the time to train, finding the time to work out, finding the time to eat healthy, having to communicate. The higher your standards, typically, the more boring your life.
Right. Yeah. Keeping it simple definitely helps.
So how do you balance the outside noise? I mean, the one thing that I always try to make sure I'm making time for, obviously, is friends, family, being able to hit pause on all the, the training intensity and like just relaxing. So what's your mindset around that, and how do you get recharged and get right back into it?
Right. Yeah. Being present is definitely something I struggle with. Putting down the phone, putting away the Excel program with the Jiu Jitsu journal. Stop thinking about it for a few hours. Mostly the evenings are kind of my time when I get back from work, when I pick Kanan up from daycare at 5, to kind of just, it's okay to relax. And I'll generally push. And then if I feel like I'm redlining a little bit and maybe my balance is off, then just take a day or two just to relax and to kind of recenter and focus on family. Because I couldn't be training jiu-jitsu this much or lifting without, the support of my family. And of course, Kanan now is my number one priority. So definitely telling myself it's okay just to rest. It's okay to take a day off. You're not going to get any worse. You're not going to backslide. I don't generally schedule days off, but when they start creeping in and I feel like I need it, focus on sleep, focus on nutrition, and just try to relax, and you just veg out on the couch is beneficial in the future. So tough for me to do, but definitely needed.
So what advice would you have for people who are, and I don't know the best word for this. This is a passion project of yours, right? I mean, this is you diving into the subculture that helps you become better at the thing that you love. Right. What advice would you have for somebody who's starting out that wants to, create an Instagram page or, create, some kind of social media where they're sharing their work, they're sharing the byproducts, the love of their labor of their love of their labor?
Exactly. Biggest advice would be just start. It's going to be rough at first. It's going to be rocky. You may face some criticism. It'll be uncomfortable. It'll give you some anxiety, but it's better just to get it going and learn as you go, especially with an Instagram page. Find the community that are passionate about the same thing you are. I'm very particular on who I follow, definitely on Instagram. on my training page, that if I'm getting something out of their page, I'll give them a follow and learn from it. So I'm constantly bombarded with either podcasts or Instagram posts or emails that I'm signed up to, that is motivating. You know, I follow Jocko, Cameron Haynes, David Goggins. You know, I'm always trying to read a book, listen to a podcast. So that's biggest thing to kind of keep this, all the negativity and everything that's happening in the world today, that's just constant, everyone fighting each other. You have to really go out and seek what will help you in everyday life, and, you know, keep the positivity flowing. So not easy, but that's the biggest thing I would say. Find the community, just start, and, you know, take it one day at a time.
And then once again, your Instagram handle, so people know where to find you.
Sure. It's K_Ross_training, K-Ross training. And I post everything from solo drills, jiu-jitsu drills, strength training, core, sometimes nutrition stuff, mostly on my story. So basically everything that I'm doing just to try to take that next step, get a little bit better every day and push towards, you know, bigger, better me.
Well, I can tell you what, man, you're definitely having an impact. I know, especially on me, fellow blue belt, fellow you know, Boisean, just training and hitting the grind, and seeing you sharing, seeing you training every day, you know, that forces me to watch the videos, forces me to work on my grips and all the things that you talk about in drill. Cool. So thanks again for having that page, and thanks again for sharing how you came about creating your Instagram and sharing it with the world.
I appreciate you having me. It's been great. I love talking training. Obviously, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, strength training, nutrition, I'm always down. I got to make it down to Team Rhino and get a couple rolls in with you. I will. I know you guys hold some open mats here.
Yeah.
Here and there. There's been a couple times where I was planning on going, and then I got held over at work, or, you know, missed it for some family thing. But I'm going to make it absolutely in the near future.
All right. I'll reciprocate. I'll come out to the base, man.
Yes.
I'd love to come out there and train with you guys as well.
Cool.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.